Hello and welcome to Health a Second Opinion here on this a couple days here before the 4th of July. Going to be celebrating some independence and just, in thinking about all of these things and trying to get ready, I've got a ton of thoughts on my mind, and some of it is that, so many people are thinking independence, and we're in this major conundrum. I guess it would be, just really counterintuitive to just be celebrating and thinking about our independence when in fact we're under such oppression, and we're in such weird, uncertain times. And so I think it's really important to actually focus on the fact of what freedom really means. And, so going to the definition of what freedom is, the power or right to act, speak, or think what one wants without hindrance or restraint. Absence of subjection to foreign domination or a despotic government. The state of being, and so it evolved. There's so many different ways, but I want you to think about it right now about our freedom and the power, the right to speak or act as one wants without hindrance or restraint. And yet here we are right now. I'm going to be talking about health freedom, and I'm going to be talking about these things. And yet this video might get censored and pulled. It might be already getting pulled right now. I don't know. And so when we think about that, we're celebrating the 4th of July and we're trying to celebrate our freedoms. Here I am doing something and trying to bring information to you and how to liberate yourself from sickness and disease. And yet this might become censored. And so that isn't health freedom. That's not freedom. And we want to change that by empowering people to stay focused on what the real thing should be right now, and celebrating our freedoms about how to stay healthy for life, how to have a healthier family, how to have just everything, and I want to talk to you about the fact that your mindset matters. Right now, this thing, I got to take it off. It's itchy. So your mindset matters. When we think about these things, going back biblically, in Numbers, I believe it is, that Moses sent 12 of his spies to, so they had escaped. God had blessed them with coming out of slavery, and they had traveled through the desert, and they were made it to the promised land. And then bam, they sent these 12 spies in to scout out the promised land and bring back hope and promise. And then, so 12 of the spies went in, and y'all probably know the story, and 10 came back with this: oh my gosh, there are giants in the land. There are these people that are so big, there's no way we can ever overtake the promised land. And yet 2 said, hey, we were promised, we've been brought this far, we are well able, and we should go in and take the land right now. And then, the rest of the story. Moses and the people listened to the 10, and so they wandered in the desert for 40 years. And I feel like that's right now what so many people are doing out there in America. They're wandering in the desert of health. They're wandering in the desert of the lack of freedom. And so I think that so many people will need to really focus on the fact that right now our mindsets are so important. And so the solution to pollution is not dilution. You don't need more of it. We've seen what that's done to the environment. We have so many people who have said that, that the world can handle what we can throw at it. And therefore, if we look at the world as an example, and the environment and the earth as an example of the fact that we've dumped so much into the oceans that now we know the oceans are sick with pollution, and we're seeing all these major problems. But yet the solution, so there's not any more water out there. And if we keep dumping into it, we know it's going to become worse and worse. We've reached that threshold. Whereas, 50 years ago, people would have said, no, man, we're way out from that. We can just just keep dumping toxic chemicals. We could keep dumping all these things and trash and plastic and all these things. And the world's, the oceans can handle it. Well, now we know that is an example. And we always have to utilize these examples of looking at, the earth, the world, things in comparison to this universe inside of us. And in the mindset that says that if we can utilize examples that we already know and then utilize those principles and those truths back towards ourselves, that then we can allow ourselves to express more health and have a better life. And so when we think about these things, the solution to pollution is not dilution. The solution is the solution. The solution's pollution. And so when we think about this, that's why I was wearing this cancer killer shirt today, and thinking about things is that, the cause is the cure. And so the pollution's the cure. And if we do less pollution, then we have less of a problem. And so the same thing here for us, I want to talk to you today about being free from worry. Ask yourself this question. If you got COVID today, if you contracted it and you got sick, do you know in your heart of hearts that you would survive? Do you know that you would survive? Do you know that if your child got this, that they would survive? And then the follow-up question to that is for so many people that answer might be no. And it's not about judgment. It's not about where what the answer is. It's about why you answered that way. So if you got the virus and you got sick, do you know that you would survive? And then if you don't think you would survive, why? Why is it that you don't think that you would make it? And that you might even be one of those people, the 95% of people who don't even have any symptoms. Why wouldn't you fall into that category? And that's the solution. That's the pollution. And so in your life, that's what's limiting you. And so like when I talk and I ask patients this kind of stuff, somebody might say, well, I know that my nutrition's not very good, And so, okay, let's talk about it. What's the pollution that is the problem? Because that problem, the cause is the cure. And so if the nutrition, you know that that's the problem. Well, then let's talk about eating clean. Let's talk about the fact that minimizing. Let's start with the broad strokes. Hey, quit going to fast food. Take your food from home. You know the quality of the ingredients, and you can buy cheaper and make bulk and take leftovers and take that for lunch. What's the question then is then to what level do you need to go to get yourself to the point where you can answer yes to that question, where you can walk around with true freedom, where you can feel liberated in the fact that you know that your body is functioning at such a high level that you are going to be one of the people that even if you caught it, you would survive. That's my job, and that's really what this show is about. Pardon me. Is about helping people reach that point where they know that they know. And so it becomes, to what level, if your answer is nutrition, do I need to go? Do I need to go to the advanced plan to allow myself to reverse a disease process, maybe high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, something like that, that therefore then I can regain my health? Or is it just, that's my mind says, that's just my Achilles heel right now, but my body's still functioning pretty darn well. And I think I've gotten everything else under wraps. Well, okay, then maybe you can function on the core plan where you're eating only healthy lean meats, grass-fed, organic dairy, only, and that you're eating mostly low glycemic index fruits and vegetables, and that you're nuts and seeds, and then that's where you need to be? Or do you need to be at that advanced plan level where you're trying to regain your health and reduce inflammation and reverse the diabetes and the heart disease and all those things? And that advanced plan level is, only low glycemic index fruits, and then really, and vegetables, and everything is super clean, and you're eating this anti-inflammatory diet. Maybe you're practicing intermittent fasting and you're using ketosis, and which your body goes into. It's a hot buzzword now, but when we think about all these things, that's the levels that you can say to yourself, well, I think that 90% of the time I do good. I just need to clean up my nutrition. And my cleaning it up means not hitting the drive-through. I need to take my stuff to work because I eat good breakfast, I eat a good dinner, all the way to, wow, everything's super out of balance. I need to get back on the advanced plan, and I need to reverse a problem and regain my health. So that's a way of assessing things for you. And one of the biggest things that I cannot talk enough about is when to reduce fear and to have freedom. You need to be measuring things, and you need to know what's most important. And I get this question all the time. What's the most important thing that I can do, Doc, to allow myself to be healthier? And the question always is then what gives the greatest amount of benefit to any human being, not just you, but any human being? And that's by having your body function as close to 100% as possible. Okay. So what controls and coordinates how the body functions and whether or not it can function at 100%? Well, that is whether or not your nervous system is controlling the rest of your body properly. Okay, so then how do I assess my nerve system? Well, what are you talking about? Well, you have to assess the system on the outside that contains the nerve system, and that is the spine, and that connection of life force. And I just want to, so simple, and sometimes we make it way too complicated in healthcare. And it's just the fact that your brain is the generator, and this electrical life force flows down your spinal cord like a hose. And so if there are kinks in the hose, then that life force is not going to flow out and control and coordinate the body as well as it could, as if there weren't those kinks in the hose. And so that's going to restrict the flow. Now, is some of that water flow getting out? Yes, but is 100% getting out? No. And therefore, removing the kink in the hose, you could turn the water pressure up. You could, you could add fertilizer to the soil. You could do all kinds of things. Maybe you could pour some supplements on it. You could exercise it, But if you simply got rid of the kink in the hose, then wow, now everything flows and works better. Hello, chiropractic. That is literally the principle is that removing interference to the very system that controls and coordinates every other system allows optimization or freedom of the body to have full power. And so full utilization of the other resources, which are nutrition and oxygen from exercise, and minimizing toxicity, and having happiness and freedom and health and prosperity and love and joy. All of those things are expressed in literally joy, the sensation of freedom, the thought process, the everything. That is your brain actually changing via of maybe the words that are coming out, these sound vibrations, changing that into meaning, processing that and producing the chemical cascade downstream. Every organ's downstream of the nerve system. And that is what is creating your reality, whether you're listening to me right now or you've already tuned out. And so either way, understanding where that is the first key to optimizing your health and getting the best benefits. And so I can't say enough about whether or not that if you haven't had a checkup on your spine and your nervous system, your children haven't had a checkup, your grandchildren, then that's always the first step, because that then determines how anything else is functioning. If you're subluxated in an area, those nerves go to the heart does not function properly. If you're subluxated in an area that goes to your pancreas, then your pancreas doesn't function properly. How does that impact the rest of your body? And so 706-657-4777. Oh, wow. Look here. There's this banner. It actually works now. And so there's the number. You can call and schedule. And no time. I always get the second question. Well, when is the best time to get checked? I get this from parents a lot. And it was when the baby was born. Birth process. I just experienced that here recently with my beautiful new daughter, Eliana, and just amazed at how unbelievably powerful of an event and how wonderful my wife is to have gone through that process in such a beautiful way and at home, and such a successful birth story. And now we've got this beautiful little girl. And of course, due to the events at time, we had the freedom to have her at home. We had the ability to do this and the health to do this, because again, that was it wasn't we just are going to do this because we want to have a home birth. It was a check-in that said, wow, yeah, we're 45, but yet we're both very healthy, and my wife being the most important one in that health equation, right? And we expect to have healthy outcomes, and so we can expect this to be successful. And so have this baby at home. And then now we're experiencing this amazing thing that, hey, it took me 20 minutes probably to check the baby because of some complications that were going on that we needed to manage. And then, bam, that was when that happened, because that birth process was fast and hard. And, and that's a lot of pressure on a baby's neck. And then the next question is always, well, I didn't do that, doc, you weren't there. I didn't know about chiropractic, so I didn't get my kids checked. When's the next best time? And that's always today. And so again, making sure that you're addressing things in a hierarchy of needs. We know about it from a mental standpoint with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, in that, the safety and going down all of these things to be able to get people to reach their potential. We got to have these things. Well, from a health standpoint, you have to have the nerve system controlling all other systems properly. And so when we look at these things, I want to get back to dealing with the pollution in people's minds right now, that instead of focusing again at that question, if I'm not where I want to be and I don't feel confident in my body's ability, that I can't answer that question emphatically, bam, if I got sick right now, I know I'd survive. My kids would survive. Not only that, we probably wouldn't even have any symptoms. We'd be one of those people, because our immune systems are so strong. If you can't answer that question, maybe yours is, okay, I don't exercise. Okay, so that's the next one. So we covered nutrition. So then what about exercise? Oh man, I think that I'm overweight. I don't exercise enough. And so my cardiovascular system might not handle that. And I might really just, I might not make it. Wow. Okay. So it doesn't mean you need to go to the gym 6 days a week for 2 hours a day. You can, that would be awesome. But yet, what level does it need to go to? What do you need to assess to figure that out? And so that becomes, okay, it can be, there's severe obesity, morbid obesity, I'm a little overweight, and you go down this tier, and then you say, okay, then realistically, if I'm going to create this lifestyle, if I'm going to be successful at this, how am I going to do it? What makes sense to me? What works for me is different than my son, Jonah, different than my son, Waylon. You know what I mean? Like, these guys have different, Waylon, just throw him a basketball. He's outside all day, give Jonah, something that creates kind of play and imagination, and he'll be outside all day, having battles and doing all kinds of stuff, but moving and playing and doing. For me, it's riding a bike or doing max T3. For you, it might be walking. For you, it might be going to the gym. But set yourself up for success liberate yourself from this polluted mindset that says, I can't do it. You know, nobody in my family's had discipline. Nobody in my family has had, you know, been successful. All, you know, if you're one of those people who says my family has heart disease or this or that, and so I'm going to succumb to those things, the pollution's right in here and the solution's right in here. And you have to be able to say to yourself, and one of those things is maybe you need to turn mainstream media off. Maybe you need to say to yourself, I got to stop polluting my brain with all the negative, and I'm going to focus on the positive, and that positive is going to tell me that I need a new crowd. Well, the new crowd is my office. It's chiropractic care in Trenton, Georgia. We're the people who are constantly liberating people from bad belief systems, BBS. And so when we look at this, it's about being surrounded by people who are trying to reach their potential, who are wanting to be healthy, who are wanting to reach their health potential and their life potential. That's another positive thing about being in our office. And so if that's not a part of your life and you don't have that crowd that has what you want, that are already healthy, that are practicing the nutrition, the exercise, all those things, become a part of the crowd. And this is basically how you do it. You can give a call or shoot us a message. We're on, you can check us out on Google, look at our reviews, that kind of thing. Send us a message through Facebook and we'll reach back out to you. But when we look at these things, that with exercise, so what is it? How are you going to set yourself up for success? And just get up and get moving. You know, I wear a smartwatch some days, and when I do a full days at work, just in between in my office here, I'll end up somewhere between, depending on how busy we are, 9,000 and 13,000 steps just in the office. And then, you know, if I'm outside working out at lunch and I'm doing all these other things, then I might hit 14,000, 15,000 steps. And I mean, so there you go. Maybe that's just that step for you. Maybe you don't have to go out and invest a lot of money. What's your mindset? What's your pollution? Is it that it's too expensive? I don't have the money to go to the gym and join the gym. Okay, do it at home. Well, I need new shoes. Okay, well, until you get the new shoes, just do it in what you got, and lower your impact so that you're not getting as much of a beating from it, you know? Pardon me. I don't know if you can see that on camera. So, well, you know, whatever that is, or I don't enjoy X, Y, Z, well, then find something you do enjoy. You know, look to yourself as the solution to that pollution in your brain that's telling you you can't be successful at it, and become free. Celebrate the freedoms that so many people have died for. I mean, hundreds of thousands of men and women have died in the freedom fighting for this country. How many people then, and that's just in wars. And then what about the people who fought on the front lines of women's rights, who fought on the front line of civil rights, that we're still fighting right now today? I mean, heaven's sakes, we're having riots and we're having all these stuff. And we're actually, I mean, it seems preposterous to me that we still need to understand and have signs in our yards that say that Black Lives Matter. Of course they do. Their lives. I thought we settled that, like, you know, I don't know, 100 years ago. I mean, come on. But this is where we're at, you know. And so, of course, these things matter. And we have to get back to the mindsets that say, you know what, for me, this is where I'm at. So now we've dealt with nutrition, we've dealt with exercise. Now where are we at? Maybe you feel like that you're toxic and your body hasn't, you know, you're not processing toxicity. Maybe you work with a lot of chemicals, or you have in the past, and you know, those things. So what are you going to do? You need to liberate yourself, and you start reading labels. You need to make sure you're putting clean products on your body and maybe less products on your body. All of these chemicals and enhancers and things in products. So go to beautycounter.com, look at their never list. You can look up Beauty Counter and reach out to the representative in your area. In this area, it's my wife, because we utilize those products in our own home and for our own children to be safe and lower our own toxicity. And so then look at where the toxins are coming in your food. By eating clean, doing the core of the advanced plan, you're going to minimize your toxicity. To what level does that need to be? Do you need to intermittent fast? Do you need to go on an extended fast? Do you need to use something very simple and gentle and easy like our detox kits, which are glutathione based in the morning and upregulating the things like superoxide dismutase and things like that. And then using activated charcoal to bind that up and get rid of that at night? I don't know. Is it a combination of all of those things? Yes. Most likely. Somebody asked me the other day, they're sitting there and they came in, lower back pain, classic. Lower back pain, and come in and they're sitting there and I say, well, it's going to be really easy to fix your lower back. I expect that to feel better, after your adjustment today. But yet, it's really going to be complicated because your neck is actually bent the wrong way and it's kyphotic and it's just crushing the discs and that are controlling your thyroid, and that's attached to your metabolism issues, and that's attached to the difficulty breathing and your energy and all these things. And it was like light bulbs were going off, and they realized how connected all this was to their health, but at the same time they were blown away. They were like, wait a second, but I'm here for my lower back pain and this is killing me. How did I not know about this problem in my neck? When I come in for low back pain, that's what's killing me. And you say that's going to be easy to deal with, but you've got a neck that's bent the wrong way and discs that are deteriorating, and I didn't even know about that. Well, that's the way the body works, folks. Our human bodies are run subconsciously. Your blood pressure, your digestion, your metabolism, your everything is run in a subconscious brain. And that subconscious brain is constantly assessing in every millisecond your reality. And it's making all the organs work together to keep you alive and adapt and overcome. Well, the fact is that if it's not free in communication from a properly aligned spine, that these things can go on for years in the background and you never know about it. And so, of course, now that person is like, oh my gosh, I've got to deal with this. This totally makes sense why I've done all these diets and I've intermittent fast. I've done all these things. I never can lose any weight. Oh my gosh, that's why I don't have any energy. It's why I struggle with my breathing, even though I know I'm in shape. I just can't take a deep breath in. And it was like just all these light bulbs going off. And that's what we want for people is that we want to be that place in their lives that they come to and they are free to understand where health and freedom comes from a standpoint of your body functioning at a proper level. And that always comes with an exam. I mean, you have to know where that nerve system, what is the health status? What's the state of the union of your body? And then, do you want to be liberated? Do you want your body to function at 100%? Do you want your children to reach their potential? And then you need a checkup, period. You have to know where this system is that's controlling all other systems so that then that you are free and that your body, you will survive. Even if you come in contact with this current virus, your body's, your nerve system's controlling your body properly. The health status of that. The health status and you're measuring your nutrition. That at how you're dealing with your exercise. How you're doing with your toxicity, and how you're doing with your mindset. And that's what this office does is it creates that solution to the pollution out there in the world that's saying that you're not capable and that this is all so big and overcoming. The fact is you got to deal with that pollution and start with the solution that's inside of you. That is your potential. To reach that potential, you just got to stay focused on what you can control. And what you can control is your actions and your behaviors, and be surrounding yourself with people who are trying to reach those potentials. And the fact is the cause is always the cure. And that's the same with cancer. That's the same with the problems that got you wherever you're at and the things that you want to be able to answer that question. I know that I would be one of those people who would survive even if I got it. So I'm not worried. I'm free. I feel the weight lifted off of me. Well, then, You got to be dealing with these things. And so we want to be that solution for you. And so just give the office a call, 706-657-4777. Schedule an appointment for you and your family and your grandkids and everybody. We'll get everybody back on that wheel to reaching their potential, and being surrounded by the office that's helping people, has 15 years and will for at least another 25. See you back here, same time, same channel next week. Be blessed. Be free.